Now, here's the shot you just hit. And again, the face is pointed in a different direction than the path. It creates a lot of curve, even though we hit the middle of the face. Now, if we look at patterns, we do see that for the most part, you're kind of hugging this path line. What do I mean by that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
-3 to +2. -1, +1. So it's not a necessarily super consistent path. It's not like every swing you're going negative, every swing you're going positive. Right. You're right on that line every time. Right. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on the shot you're trying to hit. Right. So if we're trying to hit a fade from left to right, we're gonna want a negative path.
Okay.
And if we're trying to hit a draw from right to left, we want a positive path. Right. Now, in this case, because the path is a little bit inconsistent, we're seeing that the face angle is also a little bit inconsistent. Your average is 4 open. However, if we look closer, one was 9 open, one was 1 open, then 8 open, then 2 closed, then 3 open. So when we first came in and we said we have a directional problem, things are going left, it's definitely face. The catch is your face is a little bit inconsistent because the path is inconsistent.
Okay. Okay.
You with me so far?
Yeah, because the path is where the clubs are, and the face is where, you know, where it...
Yes. So more times than not, if the path is going left, a negative number, the face wants to stay open. Oh, really? If we come inside and swing out with a positive number, it wants to close over. Now, in this case, we're seeing a little bit of everything. But that's so far just with the iron. Now, on this screen, I have a different report that, again, we're gonna get to driver in a minute, but a lot of times what we see with irons and wedges tend to bleed over into the driver. The driver, just because it has less loft, it's not as forgiving. So let me save this report.
It's gonna show up a lot more.
Exactly. So we can hide behind the loft of a wedge. Can't hide behind no loft here on the driver. Now, this says 6 iron. I test with 7 irons primarily because the loft of today's modern 7s is like what a 6 was 5-10 years ago. Really? So your club here, this was a 7 iron. I believe it has 30 some odd degrees. Just before I lose my place and finish this one. So 7 irons these days, there's no standard. We can go anywhere from the strongest one is 26 degrees. The weakest one on the market is 36 degrees. That's a huge gap. This one, I believe, is about 30. Just 31. So for today's standards, this is pretty normal. 31 degree 7 iron. Back in the day,
I was about to ask you back in the day. 32, 35.
This is circa 1981. This 7 iron has 37 degrees on it.
What about this one?
The Adams? So this one is probably very similar.
Let's see the line on this as well.
This one, oh, this is actually a much more traditionally lofted. This is 33.5 degrees at a standard of eye angle of 62. That one was almost too flat.
Right.
60. Now I bent it back up.
Right, okay.
So this one's a little bit closer, but it is also weaker. So the loft of this club is like the loft of your 8 iron.
Oh, okay.
So you probably do hit this one farther than this one.
I hit this one further.
This is probably the same.
I'm sorry, no, the other way around. I know, but I think I hit this one further. Probably not now.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, now that you're hitting it like that. So what does this all mean? So if we come...
It's blowing my mind.
The lie angle?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. So if we, especially if we come over here...
It was like it was instantaneous.
Boom.
That's what blows my mind. It's instantaneous.
Yeah. And then, I'm sure, we had one miss hit. Right. But other than that, you're hitting the middle every time. Now, even if we look here, 2 of these were up there, but then, boom, we start moving down here. So it is really cool how it, very little effort, we didn't have to change much.
It blows my mind.
And that's the big thing with golf. You know, small hinges swing big doors. So
when they told me you do all this technical stuff, I said, that's what I want.
Yes. Yeah, we want to know why things are happening.
I'm an engineer by training, by school.
Oh my God! So we haven't even touched data, and there's more stuff that we haven't even. I won't overload you.
Yeah.
Only relevant stuff here.
Right. But I needed to understand the why behind things. That's key for me.
So
Some people just talk, and I'm like, they say do this, do that. It's like, well, what's causing it?
So let's talk a little bit more about lie angle before we move on here, because to your point, this conversation will also help you on the course, even though we're not on the course. This is going to represent for us how the ball comes off of the club. So let's take your pitching wedge, and we're going to stick this guy right here. Now, if this is the lie angle, and we hit a shot, you can see how the ball's going to come off. Right. Now, let's say the club is too flat, meaning the toe is hanging down the way your club was built. When that toe goes down, where's that highlighter now put?
First of all, it's going that way.
It's going that way.
Right.
Now, what if we go the other way? We go upright. It's pointing to the left. Now, let's blow your mind even more. The more loft that's on the club, like your 60 degree, the more severe that change becomes. If you had a club with no loft, it doesn't matter. It'll always come off straight.
Really?
So
Get out of town.
right? Because if it has 0 degrees, I don't care if you go up or down, it's always going to come off the same. But the more loft you add, the more severe lie angle affects your swing. So why it's so important is if this club isn't built correctly, then you need to make a certain swing with certain compensations to make it go straight. But the swing that will work on this pitching wedge is not the same swing that will work on the 7-iron. Because the 7-iron needs a different swing to counter how it's going to come out.
So long.
Yeah, you just learned. So you've probably learned when you go to pick up like an 8-iron, you probably have a feeling of like, okay, this is my 8-iron swing. This is my 6-iron swing. Throw it all out the window. They're all the same swing.
Right.
At least they should be.
Should be right.
All right, so let's go back into this report here. What is it starting to tell us? Well, the cool thing here is this first screen shows us you compared to your demographic, other 61-year-olds of a similar build. We see that for how fast you swing, you're right in the middle of the pack, but you're more consistent than most. As we work our way down,
That's good.
it's very good. Yeah, I like consistency. As we work our way down, we see 2 swing characteristics start to appear to us. Now, there's no one way to swing the club, but there are certain characteristics about a swing that can really hurt your game or hurt your body.
Okay.
So these characteristics are postures that are either wrong to begin with, where your body's moving in the middle of the swing that can actually cause you to damage yourself. For example, reverse spine here, this is the #1 cause of low back pain and one of the biggest reasons people stop playing golf. Because in the middle of their swing, their spine is shifting and it tears it up.
Right. You don't want
Great
that.
news, you don't do it. What you do, however, are a little bit of C posture and flat shoulders, and these two go together.
Okay.
So by
When you say
working
flat shoulders, you mean the lack of tilt?
correct. Well, yes and no. Tilt during the swing. So
okay.
So flat shoulders, and the reason it ties in with C posture. C posture is when we have too much rounding in our upper body.
Right.
Now I'm over exaggerating.
But I knew what that meant when you said that. You can see the picture.
Yeah, exactly. So we have too much rounding. Now, if we have too much rounding, we can't turn. Our body no longer turns. So instead of swinging this way,